Welcome back to the Eskimos channel. Today we dive into a world where every memory has vanished overnight. Imagine the sun rises and the familiar is now unfamiliar. Cities full of people who don't remember their names, their families, or even how to get to work. In this scenario, society's tightly knit fabric unravels swiftly, leaving behind a landscape of confusion and fear. What happens when the very essence of human connection, our memories, is erased? Join us as we navigate through this bewildering week, day by day. Imagine waking up one day and not remembering anything at all. On the second morning of this bewildering scenario, the world teeters on the edge of reality and oblivion. Streets buzz with confusion as people wander aimlessly, unable to recognize the faces of family or friends, the layouts of their own homes, or even the streets they've walked 1,000 times before. As the day unfolds, the essentials of human capability remain untouched. People can still talk, walk, and interact. However, the finer points of daily existence slip through their fingers like sand. Key codes to doors, alarm deactivations, even the process of making a morning coffee become Herculean tasks wrapped in mystery. In the midst of this chaos, emotional barriers dissolve. Strangers share confused glances that turn into comforting embraces. Amidst the fear, a raw and genuine human connection begins to rekindle, stripped of all pretenses and social masks. As the sun sets on this first day, the world realizes that something unprecedented has occurred. Day 2 dawns with a startling realization. Our digital and financial identities are inaccessible. As the sun rises, the world faces a peculiar silence. The once omnipresent hum of connectivity has faded, replaced by a palpable sense of disconnection. People stare blankly at screens that might as well be relics from an ancient civilization. Passwords, those keys to our online lives, lay forgotten like distant dreams. In offices, workers find themselves locked out of their computers, gazing at login screens that demand access codes lost in the fog of amnesia. ATMs stand unused as pins slip through the cracks of memory. The ripple effects are immediate and devastating. Businesses can't operate, transactions halt, and the economy grinds to a standstill. On a personal level, individuals struggle to perform everyday digital tasks, from checking emails to ordering groceries online. The tools and services that shaped the modern lifestyle are now just out of reach, rendering them useless. With no way to access or validate our digital selves, society begins to unravel. By the third day, survival becomes the priority. As society's finely tuned mechanisms start to falter, the breakdown of essential services becomes glaringly apparent. Garbage no longer collected starts piling up on sidewalks, creating not just an eyesore but a burgeoning health crisis. Shops run low on supplies, their usual deliveries halted as confusion and forgetfulness grip those responsible for maintaining the flow of goods. Without the routine collection of trash and the steady supply of essentials, people are thrust back into a more primal mode of living. The reliance on societal rules and regulations gives way to a more instinctual, almost animalistic approach to daily life. Neighbors who once greeted each other with a smile now eye each other warily, competition for scarce resources fostering suspicion and sometimes outright hostility. In this new world, stripped of its conveniences and forced to confront its vulnerabilities, a raw, unfiltered humanity begins to emerge. Frustration breeds desperation as confusion turns into chaos. As day 5 unfolds, the streets no longer resemble the orderly paths they once were, but morph into arenas of survival. People, driven by an inherent need to endure, find themselves clashing over resources. Supermarkets become battlegrounds where the forgotten function of money leads to looting, and the concept of ownership blurs into irrelevance. Daily tasks transform into Herculean challenges. Imagine attempting to operate a vehicle when the very purpose of a steering wheel escapes you, or trying to cook a meal without remembering how to light a stove. The resulting frustration isn't just palpable, it's explosive. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Their efforts to maintain order are like holding back the ocean with a broom. Amid this disarray, the human spirit is tested to its limits. Bonds of society, once held by mutual understanding and memories, now hang by a thread. The thin veneer of civilization peels away, revealing the primal core beneath. On day 5, a semblance of order begins to form amidst the chaos. As the sun rises over a world still shrouded in the mystery of collective amnesia, the remnants of society begin to stitch themselves back together in unexpected ways. Gone are the days defined by digital profiles and historical data. Instead, Communities are reborn in the crucible of present needs and immediate trust. Without the baggage of past prejudices or alliances, people come together, pooling resources and skills in a raw, almost primal form of collaboration. Imagine a world where your neighbor is no longer someone you've known for years, but is instead the person standing beside you, offering a can of food or a helping hand. This is a time when every interaction is vital, every relationship newly forged on the anvil of necessity. The new social structures are simple yet profound, built on the foundation of mutual aid and the human instinct to connect and protect. In the absence of memory, we forge new connections, defining identity in the moment. As we approach the week's end, a shift occurs. The seventh day dawns, and as the sun climbs, so too does a sense of introspective clarity among the survivors. In the silence of a world slowly rebooting, people find themselves at a crossroads of reflection and revelation. Amidst the ruins of a society temporarily lost to oblivion, individuals start piecing together not just their forgotten lives, but also reevaluating what they hold dear. The crisis, it seems, peeled back layers of everyday distractions, revealing raw, unfiltered selves. Conversations spring up in the most unexpected places over shared water sources amidst the clutter of once busy streets. People talk about dreams deferred, love unspoken, and the small joys often overlooked. The collective amnesia acts as a leveler of sorts, stripping away societal roles and expectations. As memories trickle back, tinged with the surreal quality of a dream half remembered, a profound question lingers in the air. Stripped of our pasts, we contemplate who we are in the core, unshaped by history. On the seventh day, as suddenly as they vanished, our memories return. Imagine the sheer intensity of emotions as every forgotten moment floods back in an overwhelming wave. Streets that were once battlegrounds of confusion now echo with cries of joy, relief, and for some, a deep unease. Throughout the week, our world had transformed. People who had once been strangers worked side by side, united by survival, their past grievances forgotten. Now, as the veil lifts, those same allies look upon each other with the dawning realization of their true histories. Questions arise. Who were we to each other before? Can we return to who we once were? The week without memories had reshaped relationships, priorities, even identities. As we stand amidst the familiar yet altered contours of our lives, the task of weaving together the fragments of our past with the bonds formed in forgetfulness begins. The challenge is not just to remember, but to understand. With our memories restored, we face the daunting task of reconciliation and rebuilding.